Mhm. Hello all and welcome to Mechanical Talks IIT Bombay Diaries. I am Prem Kumar, your host for this session. Today we have Mr. Saurabh with us who has been placed in Rakuten Bank as an application engineer. He completed his BTech from YCC in Nagpur in 2019 and joined IIT Bombay in manufacturing specialization soon after that. He is doing his thesis on communication among smart machines under Professor Makarand Kulkarni. Welcome Saurabh to the Mechanical Talks.
Hi.
Saurabh, firstly, could you please explain about the role you are selected for?
So I have been selected for the role of application engineer in Rakuten Bank. So actually Rakuten is like a big company like we have. So it has been established in Japan in various sectors. Like it is in e-commerce, it is in finance, it is in technology, many sectors.
Okay.
So so Rakuten in Rakuten Bank I have been placed under the role of applications engineer. So the role is basically, so there are various software applications that the bank uses uh, for various financial systems and for businesses. So the planning, development, management, and then defect prevention in that software and debugging and all that stuff, these needs to be taken care by the application engineer.
Okay, right. So, in JAP, there were lots and lots of terms like DevOps and all, which was written in the JAP, which I was not aware of initially because.
So Rakuten came up for Rakuten Mobile as well as Rakuten Bank. Okay.
Mhm.
So for Rakuten Bank, they just opened one JAF and it was of application engineer. But for Rakuten Mobile, I guess it was more than one JAFs. And the description about the job in Rakuten Mobile was more like they needed a lot of skills in all these stuff like DevOps and all. But in case of Rakuten Bank, they didn't mention these much skills. It was like
Okay,
uh, more like uh, skilled personality plus some coding knowledge and good at Java and stuff. So
okay.
that actually, when I read that Java, I got a bit of confidence because the requirements were not that much. Plus, I
Mhm.
had a little bit experience in Java, so that's
Okay,
what gave me confidence.
okay, right. So, how was the selection criteria, test and all? What
All
was
right,
there?
all right. The selection criteria was first they did resume filtering,
Mhm.
but since it's a Japanese company and Japanese companies are known to be open for all the streams, so they
Mhm.
opened for everybody like MTech, BTech, dual degree, MSc, PhD, everybody. So, and I guess almost all of them were through in the first round, that was resume filtering. And after that, they conducted a test. So, test was not that difficult. I would say there was, as much as I remember, no data structure algorithm. It was like 30 minutes of coding questions and three questions, and they were simple. I was able to do all of them.
Mhm.
And after that, there were like code snippets and MCQs to answer, like if there's a Java code and which error this will throw, those kind of. So I guess it was a 1 hour exam, 30 minutes distribution among MCQs and these coding questions. So that was the second, like the test. So after clearing the test, there was like interviews. There were two interviews. So the
Okay.
first was technical interview and second was HR interview.
Like, do you remember how many were shortlisted for the interview?
All right, so for interview, I remember exactly that there were 50 candidates. 25 were in shortlist and 25 in waitlist. So I was the
Okay.
first candidate in the waitlist. Okay,
Okay.
so that was the case.
And like, do you remember other guys from mechanical who got shortlisted? Your friends, what were their specializations as such?
Uh, as far as I remember from my specialization in manufacturing MTech,
Mhm.
only I was the one who got shortlisted. None of the other guys from masters in mechanical was shortlisted in that. Like I was waitlisted, but I saw the entire list and there were no one other in that. But the distribution of people was like that. It was completely random. Like you can get people from physics department, energy science department. There were aerospace people. It was no like specialization specific, or they didn't target a specific branch to select anyone.
Okay, right. Uh, like, Saurabh, which resume did you use? Like one page, two page, and in general, what was your strategy? How you used to decide when to use one page and when to use two page?
Uh, so I didn't quite get the idea of why we should ever use one page. So it was like
Okay,
as much as we can demonstrate our abilities, we should use the two-page resume.
okay,
So I use for most of the time I use the two-page non-core resume and
mhm,
one-page non-core resume. I rarely use that too if the company was demanding like it came for the finance sector and all. Only in
mhm.
those cases I use one page.
Okay. Saurabh, your MTP like included some or lot of coding. Did that help you in your selection criteria? Like as you already mentioned that in coding round, you were able to do those questions easily.
Yeah.
But specifically, have you found any advantage of having a project which is of based on coding, like maximum part of that is coding?
Well, so in selection criteria, where my yes, my project is it has a lot of coding and it has a lot of planning as well. First planning
Mhm.
and then coding. So what happened is it did not help me as much in the coding tests, I would say. It was because the coding tests require like competitive coding and competitive programming and all, and that is not what we generally do while
Okay.
designing applications. Okay,
Mhm.
so so for competitive programming and all, it is generally based on practice only. But where my MTP was used was basically during my interviews. So
Okay.
Rakuten people were really interested in what I did in my project.
Okay.
So they asked me like how did you plan and what all code did you do? Like I used object oriented programming, so they asked me about the details of object oriented programming. What is a
Okay.
class? What is an object? Do you know about that?
Okay.
So
Yeah.
that's where my project was helpful.
Yeah. So it means you have specifically prepared for coding tests,
Yeah,
which companies
separate.
take like yeah separately. So how was your planning? Like how you prepared, from where you prepared, and what was your strategy, and when did you start actually?
Okay. So when we look at coding, I think it should be known that it is not just using a language, but doing like all the nuances within the language. There is data structure algorithm, there is arrays, and we should be able to use uh, all the things that the language covers as a whole. So when we talk about tests, it includes that, not just use of a language.
Mhm.
So this is something that we realized very late, I would say. As a entire batch, we realized this thing late.
Mhm.
So like it was like about 4 or 5 months before the placements that we started preparing for like in-depth preparation of a particular language. Like in Python itself, we started understanding competitive programming properly, and we started focusing on data structures, algorithms, proper and other coding tests. So how we went, like we as a group went through all this together. So hacker rank and hacker Earth competitions, not
Mhm.
competitions, the practice
Right.
tests.
Mhm.
So that's where we practiced a lot. So like within last 2 3 months before December, like every morning 2 hours I used to give on hacker rank itself. So that helped a lot.
Uh, Moving into more depth about your preparation, we know that there are stepwise and level-wise topics. Like first we have arrays, strings, then we go for
Yeah,
towards the end we go for dynamic programming and all.
yeah.
In between
Yes,
we
yes.
have
A lot
other
of things.
data
Yeah.
structures as well. So in HackerRank itself, you used to go and select a topic and directly start doing the coding, or background check. Like if today you decided to go for array questions or string questions, you studied that from some resource or some website and then came to HackerRank for solving the problems, or directly you used to solve the problems.
So one advantage what I think we had was like also personally I had was because I had an exposure to Python and using the basic language from the first semester itself. So that's where for me the initial tests were very easy, the string and array kind of questions. So I
Okay.
didn't go on some website and learn them and do it from the start. So initially the starting level tests were easy for me. It was just like applying logic rather than figuring out how can I code this. So,
Mm-hmm.
but later on, when I went up to dynamic programming and data structures and all, I had to learn them through videos. And I generally consume a lot of information from videos only, rather
Mm-hmm.
than going through uh, uh, like other resources.
Text. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So that was how, but till the end, when I reached dynamic programming, where we like rarely put much effort in dynamic programming.
Mm-hmm.
So it was really hard, and we had to go through a lot of informative stuff there.
Mm-hmm. So videos in the sense from where, like YouTube or?
Videos in the sense, if you go on, I'm not sure about the platform, but these
Mm-hmm.
platforms sometimes have in resources as well. Like if
Okay.
you are
Mm-hmm.
facing difficulty with some of the dynamic programming concept, like or there some sorting methods, some advanced sorting methods. So
Mm-hmm.
they have a video, an explanation of how this sorting method works. So
Right.
either
Right.
you get the resources are a lot. You just need to
Mm-hmm.
just type it out in Google and you get a lot of it.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Now this is how you prepared aptitude directly from Pariksha, and for coding, you directly started doing on HackerRank, and where
Yeah,
you stuck, you used to watch the videos related to that topic,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
For aptitude, we also used the book. Stay my forgot the name. It's a
Arun
very
Sharma.
popular. Arun Sharma. Yes, I used
Okay.
Arun Sharma for that, and like most of our preparation was like the initial uh, tricks and all we learned from that book only. Pariksha and all
Right.
were for testing how good we are.
Mm. Yes. Right. Now, like which all interviews did you give, like before Rakuten and including Rakuten? And can you just brief about the number of rounds in each of those?
So, for the first 4 days of December, I was selected only in three companies: Airbus, Rakuten Bank, and General Mills.
Mhm.
So, on day one, it was Airbus, my first interview, and it started with the first was technical round, and after that, there was supposed to be an HR round. So, I was giving the interview for MSPA profile,
Mhm.
and in this profile, they were like, first, I gave the intro about myself, and immediately after I ended with my intro, they had a brief look on my resume, and they said that your resume looks like more data science centric and manufacturing centric, so we are
Mhm.
looking for people who are going to be like very good in design and knowledge
Mhm.
in design as well as a good experience in design. So how much do you have an experience with uh, design concepts? So I said, I was very frank to them because
Mhm.
I don't seriously don't have much experience with design,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
yeah, and since being a manufacturing guy and coming to IIT Bombay, we from the second semester itself we were like we need to build a non-code profile, all of the group that we had
Mhm.
decided collectively.
Yeah.
So and for 6 months of non-code preparation and first day first interviews here core preparation core interview. So it was I was kind of baffled, but I was honest that I told that I don't have much of design experience, but and they were like, okay, but would you be considering if we offer you a job like this? I said, yes, all right. But the later of the interview was mostly on design concepts, like do you know about uh, uh, what was it? Bilateral unilateral tolerances and a lot of SOM concepts and
Okay.
all this. So
Okay.
that just went like a casual interview for me. And after that, they gave me some puzzles and all, and they asked me about my favorite subject. So those kind of questions I was able to tackle, the puzzles and the kind of tricky question they asked about some
Mhm.
logical questions and all. But the design centric questions they asked, it was quite hard for me to get through those questions. So it just went that way. And
Okay.
there was no HR round after that.
Okay.
So that was my experience with Airbus. But
Mhm.
on day three, it was Rakuten Bank interview.
Okay.
Rakuten.
Mm. Yeah, you can start with
Yeah.
Rakuten in detail, but like about your preparation for Japanese firm, how were you prepared? Japanese firm do require some special preparation for the interviews. Did you prepare your intro and all in Japanese? How was it?
No. So this is a funny story because I was in the wait list, and on
Mhm.
day 2 at night I got to know that I am in a wait list of Rakuten Bank, and Rakuten Bank is supposed to take its interview tomorrow morning. I wasn't so much confident because I didn't attend uh, they conducted a session for how to go in Japanese interviews and how to
Mhm.
go through the Japanese interviews. So I didn't attend those sessions. So I wasn't feeling like confident. I didn't get proper pointers to how to tackle these Japanese interviews. So
Mhm.
uh, I was not so confident, I would say, and there was not much preparation for this Japanese firm. So I was with everything that the introduction and whatever I had prepared the monologues for my project and internships and everything that I prepared in my resume. There was no change. I just went in the interview and spoke as I would have given any normal interview.
Okay.
Mm.
Like,
There was no special preparation on my side. Only before HR round, like it was the next day at 1 o'clock. So I got enough time to research a little bit about the institution, about Rakuten Bank. And secondly, I prepared very basic questions like why would you like to come to Japan? Why would you
mhm.
like to join our bank? And those kind of questions. Those were the basic level of preparation I went in with.
Okay. So from your end, there was no special preparation for Japanese
No
as such.
special preparation.
Yeah. Okay. Like, let's go into the interview, what they asked and how it went. Like, starting from technical interview. In total, there were two rounds, technical
Yes,
and yeah.
yes.
What was in their technical interview?
So they asked me a lot of questions. I've written some of them. Uh,
Yeah, please.
uh, so first was as usual. They asked me. So I would like to point out that Japanese interviews they are like the kindest interviews you will have.
Yeah.
They're the kindest people, and they were like very joyous. They during my introduction itself, both of them got disconnected and they got connected again, and they said, "Okay, it's fine. We will proceed with another question. We don't want to hear introduction now." So
Mhm.
anyway, I introduced again, and then uh, so the next question was what? Yeah. So the first it was technical interview, but the initial questions were kind of HR questions. The first question was, what are your expectations from the company? So again here I was, since it's the work, I figured out that it would be mostly IT kind of work.
Mhm.
So I told them that uh, I'm relatively new to this uh, sector, and all I would like to have like gain from the company is learning
Mhm.
and uh, and grow within the company. That's how basically I
Right.
in a longer sentence I told them
Yeah,
this.
yeah, yeah.
So
Mm.
they were like, okay, okay, that's fine. And there were like other questions were, why do you want to join Rakuten Bank? So I gave them some two pointers for that. That first of all, it is a leading internet banking service provider in Japan. And secondly, I told them that on Glassdoor.com, which is the employees put the reviews of the companies there. So on Glassdoor.com, they had a really nice scoring, and the employee reviews were awesome. So that made them as a very good employer. So these were the two things I told them. So they kind of looked happy on that.
Right.
So other uh, so after that they went through my resume, and they said they were interested in my project. So they asked me to brief about the project, and I think the project was something that got me through the all the selection process, because this is something they might have been looking for in a student. Because what as as a student, what I'm trying to do in my project is the project is quite ambitious. It is like creating a standard language for communication within machines, and putting it in an application and using it for the Indian industry of Indian manufacturing industry. So so this is this thing I explained them in a in a broader sense. And since this involved a lot of planning, and they asked me, how do you plan to make this application? So I told them this much work has been done. I have planned this much. I don't know about how this will progress, but this is the goal I want to reach, and this much has been done. So they look very much satisfied as well as interested in how this thinking is going on. So also they asked me about how what all codes, like I use Python. Okay, so they asked me if I use something called as agent-based systems. So agent-based systems uses object-oriented programming. So in object-oriented programming, I create a class for each agent and then create individual objects or each of individual objects from those class and run them. So they exactly asked what kind of architecture this is and multi-level inheritance. Is it possible in Python and all? So those were some of the technical questions that they asked me. But yeah, that was all about the project. And after that, the last question in technical round was about one of the course projects that I did. It was on image. Through image classifier, we were predicting the Bengali digits. So they were like, if I there was a question from them. So if we give you Japanese characters, and imagine that you need to use a similar kind of model, how would be your process? How would you plan to execute the entire thing? So I started with questions, counter questions. So I asked first, is the data labeled? So they were like, oh, it's a good question. Let's say the data is labeled. Now proceed. So I asked one more question, that is each and every character that you are giving, each and every image of the character, is it of the same size? So there were 2-3 initial questions that made the initial data set very, very readable, kind of, not that much unorganized. So they told that these questions are good. Okay, we don't want to listen to what next implementation you are going to do. Only within the 3-4 questions they were okay. So that was the last, and after that they asked me, do you have some questions? So my question to them was, how is the day for an employee when, like an application engineer, what do you all do? So they told us about how they start the day. They call there is something called as ikigai. So in the morning, the boss and the subordinates, they all meet, they all wish each other, and they plan the entire day. What is supposed to be done, what they had learned yesterday, what they are going to do today, and all. Everybody has to speak there. So, and after that, they told about how, how they proceed with the entire timeline of work, and what all gaps of work they get, and they actually, for 5 minutes they kept on speaking.
Okay.
And
so
that's how it ended. The technical round ended there.
This was for how much duration, first round?
This was nearly 45 minutes, I guess. Almost 45 minutes, yeah.
Okay. Then you got a call for second
HR round, yeah. So within the technical and HR round, I had a little bit of gap. So like 30 minutes of gap. So I recapitulated some of the points, because HR questions, they were they would have asked why Japan, why Rakuten, and all this. So I went, gathered some friends, and asked them to brainstorm what all can be asked, and prepared some of the answers for that. And after, in the HR round, the same questions were asked. So it was very nice for me, because I just had revised them. So with the start of HR round, it was just one person. He was his first question was, why do you want, he asked the same questions. Why do you want to come to Japan? And why do you prefer Rakuten Bank? And so about Japan, I told them that your country has been very stable even after the Corona crisis. And secondly, I admire their culture, because how better they have preserved the culture with advancement in technology as well. And thirdly, it was I said one more good point. in that. I don't remember that.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, and he went through the entire resume. Like he even asked me about my extracurriculars. You even danced in this. You had like a post in your the placements. He was
Mm-hmm.
curious about everything. So, and he asked me about internship specifically. What all
Mm-hmm.
challenges were there in the internship process of yours? So it was an online internship. So I just briefed him through it, and at the end, I told him that I had to give a virtual interview for the internship, and I explained the process quite well. The
Mm-hmm.
and whatever he asked, yeah. And his last question was, nah. In the middle, he asked me twice that you are a mechanical student and you
Mm-hmm.
are going in the IT field. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it would be very hard for you to switch. So I had to somehow convince him that yes, I am a mechanical student, but I explained him in this way that in manufacturing sector, what is happening is we have in our industry like automation stack kind of structure is followed. Like there is bottom level systems, then there are PLCs, then SCADA and MES layer, then ERP layer and all. So I explained him this like within the upcoming 5-10 years, it will be like the bottom these layers will be like most of the layers will be shifted to cloud, and the web-based applications will be doing all this work. So today, if for a SCADA system there is a mechanical engineer, after 10 years, the same planning will be done by an IT guy somewhere. So
Mm-hmm.
such kind of skills, I think the future engineers must have for uh, like yeah, for surviving in the industry. So that's how I put it.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so that got him convinced a little bit. So uh, that was, and a last question he asked me was, he's like, why do you want to leave India? I could answer more. How do you answer that? Why do you want to leave India? So I told him that since being in IIT, I have experienced a lot of friends from all the corners of the country, and there has been exposure to a lot of cultures since I've traveled a lot. So since my fascination of cultures, and I would like to explore how these cultures are in Japan. So that also kind of got him convinced.
Okay,
So
it's like
yeah.
you answered instead of answering why you want to leave India, you answered why you want to explore.
I
You
want to
want to.
explore beyond India. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's all.
right.
So that was end of HR interview. So I may miss I have missed some of the questions. Like I haven't even written them. I wasn't able to remember them. But these were
Mm-hmm.
the basic questions that they all asked. And after that, they just shifted me to a like third interview panelist. It was not an interview panelist. She was an HR. She just briefed me through the salary structure and all. Mm.
Okay,
That was the end of the interview.
right. So, uh, thank you, Saurabh. You explained like beautifully. You explained all of your interview process. I would like to end this discussion with a point which you mentioned in between, like uh, whenever you uh, mentioned a problem, like you came to know about competitive coding a bit late. Everywhere wherever you have mentioned a problem which you faced, you didn't mention that I have faced. You mentioned that we have faced. So it
Yeah.
seems you have worked in a group. So how
Yes.
was it? Like, what was the size of group? How was your group, and how much it has helped you? Like, do you suggest your juniors to have a group and do weekly meetings to like help each other grow throughout this placement season?
Yes. This is a very important question. So, uh, what happened is from the first year itself, I had a group of people around me. Like you have made the interviews for Janil and Prajwal. So they were like, we were like in a group, Janil, me, Prajwal, and some of the guys. So, so it was like a group is fine. Everybody has a group, but the group should be talking not just about fun, but about the stuff like would this course help us in future? Would this course be helpful in our placements? Where do we want to make our profiles in future? So as a group, we were always not just having fun, but also talking about these things. So we took data mining together, we took courses together, we did online courses together, we did even apply for internships together, and we edited each other's resumes. So having a group, I would say, like a group had a big impact on my entire preparation altogether. So having a group, I would definitely suggest everyone to have a group. Yes, I mentioned we because these were kind of problems that uh, all the problems that I have mentioned, it was like integration of all these problems that we had.
Mm.
So so yeah, that's what a group will always help you. Like within a group, more of work is done, and you identify more mistakes, and you are well prepared in a group.
Okay, so like weekly, did you do stuff like this? Like if you are strong in some subject, like you know some data structure better, you explaining them, like deciding a weekly time, you meet in that time and explain them that stuff. If someone is better in some aptitude, he is teaching other guys some. Did you do these things?
So there was no specific time we scheduled if we felt like I'm weak in this. So before that, what happened was till second semester we all were together and we literally lived like stayed on the same floor. So if we had a doubt, we just went to others' room and get it explained from him. But in the lockdown and the communication wasn't a problem. Each one of us was available for each other anytime. Or if we were not able to give time, we would schedule it. So it was not, it
Okay.
was very unorganized. It was not organized that once a week we'll do this. It was like everybody planned that we will be doing this in the next month, and everybody started in parallel. And if someone is lagging behind, he will look at the other four and say, oh, I need to start. So
Okay.
that's how it went.
Right. Right. Would you like to give some gyan to your juniors?
About Gyan, I would only say that like first figure out where you want to go. So in the first semester itself, you should be uh, quite talkative about what are core profiles, what are non-core profiles, what all is included in non-core, what is included in core. And I have come for a master's degree. Okay, so where am I heading? Okay, you should be able at the end of the semester. You should be able to understand that uh, what profile I'm targeting for. Like I'm talking specifically about placements. There are a lot of things at the end of the semester you do, but
Mhm.
we have to select uh, the the course guide, a project guide. Okay,
Okay.
so and the project ultimately makes a big impact in your resume. So that's where it starts, selecting a guide. So I would say that be informed properly. So
Mhm.
I have felt this that there was a lack in information. Even when we were confident that this is what we wanted to do, still there was a lack in information. Initiative by Prem is very good. This will be an information pool for the juniors. That's it. Just figure out what you want and then start early. I would say start very early. Like
Okay.
if the interviews are coming in December, you should be starting from February because the placement process is a very long process. At one time you are preparing resume, at one time you are preparing for a core, at one time you are just preparing some projects to put in your resume. So it's a students should realize that this is a long process and there is some level of discipline involved. So they have to take
Okay.
this seriously.
Yeah.
That's what I
If
would say.
someone is watching this in their first semester, spend your first semester in figuring out where you have to go.
Yeah, figuring out what you where you want to go. Like at the end, you shouldn't be like, I want to go for non-core, but I think I am good in core also. So I would be
Mm.
preparing for both of them. If
Yes.
you like core and you genuinely think that this is where I should be heading and I'm only comfortable with this, please go for that. But you should be figuring out that within the first semester.
Yeah. Perfect.
Mm.
Saurav, sorry, but I have one last question. Like
Yeah.
I went through your resume, uh, and I also went through a lot of resume from others as well. Everyone wrote their MTP at the beginning of their resume, like in the first page and even at the top. But you were the only guy which I found that who wrote his resume at the back side and that too at the bottom. What was was there any specific reason about it?
So basically, I've prepared 5 resumes, right? So in the I did this only with one resume, which was the non-core resume, and this resume I used it everywhere. Okay, so I my idea was that earlier that I have prepared for a proper non-core profile, and I have a lot of skills in. I developed a lot of skills in data science and deep learning and big data analytics and all. I've done courses in that. So why not present them at the top, and then if they like that, they will eventually go through my MTP also. So that was uh, my thing. The first question, I thought that if the first question comes, it will come from the first page, and first page is somewhere I should be strong. So that's why I put it. This question was raised by my friends also, but this I stuck with this reason.
Yeah, and it seems it's worked as well. So it's a good suggestion to our juniors as well, who cannot do their MTP in the profile which they are looking for, which they are aiming for. They can put their course projects up above, which will give their good first impression. Then later they can go for MTP.
Later they can go for MTP. Yeah, because in I just went through 2 interviews, but none of them said that where is your MTP? Why isn't it up?
Yeah, right. Yeah. So it was nice talking to you, Saurav. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Prem.